Hello, I'm Dolly. My channel name is Tea Time with Dolly and Thrifty Living. I'm so glad that you've come to visit with me today. I have my glass of iced tea, so if you would like to go get your favorite beverage and come back and join me, we'll have a little visit. But I want to mention, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I really hope you will. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Just tap that on your computer or your phone. And if you like it, please tell your friends about me, because we'd love to have more subscribers and more views. Okay, are you ready? Today, I want to talk about budget. I mentioned that last week that we would talk about budget this week. So I looked up the meaning of budget. I know a lot of people doesn't like to think about being on a budget. It sounds confining to them. But actually, it's very important. We need to know where our money goes. So the definition of budget is an estimate of income and expenditures for a set period of time. And then there was another one that says a budget is a spending plan based on income and expenses. So it can be very detailed, and some people like that. They like to know, have a very detailed where each dollar goes. Or it can be more simple. So if we don't have a budget, if we don't have a money plan, what happens to our money? It just seems like it flies away. And then we wonder, where did it all go? So, and I know there can be unforeseen expenses that no matter how hard you've tried, maybe high medical bills or something big can come up in your life. And it can really mess up the whole budget. But if you didn't have a budget before that, you would probably be worse off. So I want to mention some of the reasons why a budget didn't work for me several years ago. I used to make a new budget every year, but it never worked for long. And I didn't realize until I was reading a book and it was explaining that you need a budget every single month. That was my problem. I made out this budget, but things changed throughout that year. But each month it's important to have a new budget. Sure, a lot of the things will be the same, but if you write them down and see, what's changed and what hasn't each month, definitely works better. Okay, and number 2, I never had an emergency fund. I would figure everything right down to so much for this and so much for that. But I didn't have so much in the savings for an emergency fund. So, of course, when something came up, the car broke down or something happened, well, that would have to go on a charge card because I didn't have the emergency fund. So I realized how important that is. And another reason that it's really important to have a monthly budget from month to month, because your income can definitely change or your outgo can change. I mean, you could get your job cut back, your hours cut back, or you could lose your job, or you could be off work because of illness or other unexpected things, and that can really change your income. And your outgo of your money can be different from month to month. For example, you have a new member in your household. Maybe you've had a baby. If so, there's more expenses there. Or maybe you've had a growing child that's, for one reason or another, need to move back home. And utility bills are increasing. Like our gas bill is on a budget. we just got the bill the other day for the new budget for the year. It nearly doubled. So if I didn't redo my budget every month, it would be way off there. And of course, gas has went up in price for your car, and groceries, of course, has went up. So no matter, even you can cut back on your driving, but if you work away from home, you still need gas in your car unless you can take public transportation or walk, but a lot of us can't do that. And if you live out in the country or quite a ways from your work and don't work the same hours where you can carpool or something, you know, you really need to drive to work. Okay, so that sounds kind of discouraging, doesn't it? All those things that can happen. But on the bright side, yep, there is a bright side. Sometimes there's an increase because you get a new job. Or maybe you got a bonus at work. Or you got a debt paid off. Maybe you've been paying $200 or $300 a month on a loan or a debt, and it got paid off. So that gives you an increase of usable money. So what do you do with the increase? You think, wow, I can take my dream vacation, I can buy a new car, or I can upgrade and go to a bigger, more impressive house. So, is that what you want to do? Or you can put the money in the bank in a good savings account. So to make budgeting simple, I have more than one checking account. That was something too I didn't used to understand. If you're putting all the money into one account, then you got to try to figure out, okay, this goes for this goes for that. To me, it was kind of tedious. So now I have more than one checking account. I have one for a Freedom account, and a Freedom account, or some people call it sinking fund, is basically money that you're going to put in there and it sinks back out. Because it's not a long-term savings. It's just money you're saving back each month for things that you know are going to come up. Like our trash bill, it's due quarterly. So it's not a monthly bill, but it is a bill that needs paid. And the same way with our property taxes. They're due every May and every November. So that again is not due every month. But we need to save money back for those so that when they are due, we've got the money. Same way with birthdays and Christmas. We know that those are going to come around, and you're probably going to want to give some people gifts. So that is something that would also go in. I mean, you can have different things in that account, your Freedom or sinking fund. You have to decide what you want in it, but it's basically for things that you know are going to come up or suspect are going to come up. You might need new tires on your car or some other repairs. Well, maybe you won't need them that year. Maybe they're going to last a little longer because you're driving less. Or you expected to pay out so much for car repairs. Well, maybe you got lucky and the car didn't need all those repairs. So at the end of the year, if you've got money left over, you can decide what you need to do with it. Maybe you'll want to put it in your emergency fund and make that a little bigger, because some emergencies can be pretty expensive. Okay, let's see, what else did I want to say? Okay, yeah, for your emergency fund, what you just need to do is figure out how much, get out your receipts, your bank statements, your credit card statements from a full year if you've still got them. and go down and look, how much did you pay out for car repairs? How much did you pay out? You may have a good idea on Christmas gifts. How much did you pay out for medical bills that your insurance didn't cover? Anyway, write all those things down, your property taxes, if you have quarterly insurances. Some people pay it by the month, some quarterly, or some maybe every 6 months. Whatever they are, write down what they cost for a year of all these things that you've spent money on like that you know that you're going to need to spend again. So just divide that by 12, and that will tell you how much you need each month to put in that Freedom account. Or sinking fund, because the money sinks right back out. So that's not a long-term savings. That's just another checking account, because you may need to write checks for these or use a debit card for it. Then, of course, you have savings account besides that, like long-term saving and also emergency fund saving. But each family is going to have different expenses. So you just need to think what your expenses are. Let's see. Okay, I was thinking too, have you ever heard of a business that doesn't have a budget? All your big businesses, and hopefully the little ones, have a budget. So they know how much supplies they can buy, how much advertising they can do. You know, they need that budget, even for payroll. Okay, I was going to mention what a lot of people do, and this may be you. It used to be me. But a lot of people will get a paycheck, and then they go out to the store, and they do some shopping. Then they go out to eat, and then they go home. And then maybe that's on Friday, and Saturday night comes around, and so they decide, okay, let's go out to dinner and go to a movie, or maybe some other kind of entertainment. Well, that doesn't sound like much, but when you add up, you went out to eat on Friday, you went out to eat on Saturday night, you went to a movie or some sort of entertainment, and that really adds up. And especially if you know, if it's you and your husband, or you and your, maybe even a family, it really adds up when you times that times 4 weeks in a month, and you see how much money that is. Now, you know, if you've got lots of money, and money's not a problem, you have a really big income, that may be a little different, but still, without a budget, I know there's a lot of people that make really good money, and they're still deep in debt because they didn't have a budget. But all those little things really add up. So next week, I'm going to show you how I make my simple budget. And I hope that'll be a help to some of you that's never made a budget, because like I said, I used to try to make budgets and they just didn't work for me. And if you have a budget that's working for you and you're doing well with it, okay, fine, stick with it, because there's many different kinds. For me, I like something very simple and uncomplicated. So that's how I do mine. So I hope to see you next week, or rather, I guess you'll see me if you tune into my channel. And I hope you have a wonderful week. God bless you this week. Bye-bye.